Chinese people summarize the journey of pursuing something meaningful in life. Over 100 years ago, Wang Gowei, one of China's most brilliant scholars, offered a poetic and timeless framework. He picked 3 famous verses from Song Dynasty love poems. On the surface, these lines describe longing between lovers, but Wang Gowei reimagined them. He used the 3 poems to describe 3 inevitable stages anyone will pass through when chasing a big goal, whether in academic research, artistic creation, business, or self-growth. These are widely known as Wang Gowei's 3 realms of life. Let's start with the first realm. The ancient poetic line goes, "The west wind withers the green leaves overnight. Alone, I climb a tall tower, gazing far to the very end of the endless road." Simply put, this stage is all about finding your vision and life direction. At this moment, you haven't started any heavy work yet, but you suddenly wake up to a genuine longing. You realize there is something meaningful and greater that you want to pursue. The path ahead is still foggy and uncertain, and nobody can give you a clear roadmap for success. You might even feel lonely because very few people around you share the same ambition or goal. Even so, you choose to look far into the distance and firmly decide your future direction. To make it easier to understand, let me give you a real-life example. Think about a university student who becomes deeply fascinated by artificial intelligence. At first, they don't know how to build advanced models or write professional research papers, but they are certain that this is exactly the field they want to devote their future to. So they start reading widely, learning steadily, and planning their long-term academic journey. This state of setting a distant goal and preparing for the future perfectly matches the first realm. This idea also resonates with Western philosophy. The famous poet T.S. Eliot once said, "Only those who will risk going too far can possibly find out how far one can go." Just like Eliot's words, all meaningful growth and discovery start with courage. You dare to look into the unknown future and take the first step, even when everything is unclear. That is the core of the first stage of life pursuit. Now let's move on to the second realm. The classic line from the ancient poem is, "My robe grows loose as I waste away, yet I will never feel regret. For her sake, I gladly bear exhaustion and thinness." In this stage, you have already confirmed your life direction, and now you enter the hardest part of any pursuit, long-term perseverance and endless hard work. You keep investing your time, energy, and passion into your goal every single day, yet progress feels extremely slow. Most of the time, you get no rewards, no praise, and no obvious breakthroughs. You constantly face failure, tiredness, frustration, and self-doubt. Here, the her in the original love poem no longer refers to a lover. Instead, it stands for your dream, your ideal, your pursuit of truth, or any long-term goal you cherish. No matter how exhausted you become, you never regret your choice, and you keep moving forward quietly. Let me share a vivid real-life case. Take an independent game developer. They have already found their goal in the first stage, creating a unique and touching story-driven game. After that, they enter the second realm. For months or even years, they keep coding repeatedly, redesigning art assets, rewriting storylines, and fixing countless bugs. For a very long time, almost no one plays their work, and they gain no profit or fame. They often feel burnout and exhausted, but they never give up on their dream. This silent, persistent struggle is exactly the second realm of life. This universal truth is also recognized in the West. The great inventor Thomas Edison famously said, "Genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration." It perfectly explains this stage. Every outstanding achievement relies on long-term, boring, and persistent effort. Talent alone never guarantees success. This stage tests your true perseverance and faith more than anything else. Finally, we come to the third and highest realm of life. The ancient poem describes this state perfectly. "I search for her thousands of times in the crowded throng. Suddenly, I turn my head, and there she stands, in the dim, faint lamplight." This is the stage of unexpected enlightenment and natural breakthrough. After going through clear positioning in the first stage and long-term persistence in the second stage, you have accumulated massive experience, knowledge, and thinking. You no longer rush for quick results or force breakthroughs anxiously. Gradually, your mind begins to work subconsciously. And here comes the most magical part. The answer you have been pursuing for so long, the creative insight or the key breakthrough, will appear unexpectedly. It shows up not when you are forcing yourself to work harder, but when you calm down and immerse yourself in accumulation. It is important to understand that this sudden epiphany is never blind luck. It only belongs to people who have endured long-term searching and persistent struggle. Without the first two stages of accumulation, you will never get this precious moment of enlightenment. We can also understand this through a real scientific example. Many chemists and researchers experience this magical moment. Imagine a chemist who spends years trying to develop a new stable material. They fail hundreds of times in repeated experiments. But one day, when they are casually organizing their laboratory data instead of doing intense experiments, they accidentally notice a tiny chemical reaction they've ignored before. This small discovery becomes the key to their years of research, bringing them an instant breakthrough. This accidental but hard-won insight is exactly the third realm. To wrap up today's sharing, Wang Guowei's 3 realms summarize the complete journey of life pursuit. The first stage is finding your distant dream and brave direction. The second stage is enduring loneliness and insisting on long-term struggle. The third stage is gaining natural enlightenment and unexpected breakthroughs after persistent accumulation. This set of ancient Chinese wisdom has inspired countless people for over 100 years, and it still fits every field of modern life. So I want to ask you a question. Which stage are you currently in your life? Feel free to leave your thoughts in the comment section below.